Hi, my name is Bernard Chang. I'm a professional comic book artist for Marvel and DC Comics. But when I was younger, I was a violinist in the South Florida Youth Symphony. I remember that very first audition. Mrs. Hahn was very strict, and I was very nervous, and I didn't make it. But after a year of practice, and more practice, I was able to secure the last chair in the second violin section. So from 6th grade all the way through senior high, I was able to perform with the greatest group of young musicians, where we traveled throughout the state of Florida, all the way down to the Cayman Islands, and all the way up to New York City, Carnegie Hall, baby. Thank you, Mrs. Hahn, and the rest of the South Florida Youth Symphony, and congratulations on 60 years. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christine Kurtz-Speyer. I was a violinist in the Youth Symphony from the age of 10 until I was 18. Going to Youth Symphony carved an intriguing path in my life that I still am forever grateful for. For example, I made new friends all the time. I got to go on fun field trips and play at cool places like the Dade County Youth Fair. And thanks to the Youth Symphony Scholarship Program, I was able to attend summer music camp at Interlochen, Michigan for 2 summers. Looking back, I strongly feel that the Youth Symphony gave me the motivation to attend college with my violin, and that's exactly what I did. I attended the University of Miami on a full music performance scholarship and played under the direction of some of the most incredible conductors. So you see, Youth Symphony really was a very positive influence on me. And I thank Margie and her mother, Mary Lou, for including me in their Youth Symphony family. And remember, music is our universal language. You can play anywhere and with anyone. Enjoy.
Greetings, family of the South Florida Youth Symphony. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Brian Morgan Smith, and I used to be principal second on flute for the South Florida Youth Symphony between the 2002-2003 season. During that time, this orchestra taught me how to become a freelance musician. It taught me the qualities of leadership, how to have passion for music, and being the best musician that I can be. Being part of this group also encouraged me to build on values like endurance, discipline, and also building on resilience. Those things have shaped me to be the musician that I am today, and I am very proud to be under the leadership of Dr. Marjorie Hahn, and I thank her for taking me under her wing. And I also am very grateful for the wonderful experience that I had with my fellow musicians, and also getting to cherish the wonderful memories and experiences that I had with this group. It's always been an honor, and I hope to see more and share more of you in the near future.
Hi, my name is Alberto Wade, and I'm orchestral director and professor at Miami-Dade College North Campus. My journey with music and my love for it started at a very young age. Started around 11 years old when I was in middle school, when I decided that this is what I wanted to pursue as a career. But growing up in Hialeah, there weren't too many options. There weren't too many magnet schools or places that we can go to really develop at the level that I wanted to develop. It wasn't until I came across a band director from Hialeah Middle School named George Walters. George Walters had an eye or a nose for catching young musicians that had a passion for it. And in one of our pre-evaluations, he noticed me and noticed that I loved music, and he invited me to perform with the South Florida Youth Symphony, and I did. In those early years in the mid-90s, I remember coming to South Florida Youth Symphony right away and noticing that this was a place for musicians, young musicians that loved music just as much as I did. And that's really what I remember the most, this camaraderie among young players that loved music. I didn't have so many players in Hialeah that loved music as much as me, but here I was finding a group of musicians my age loving music just as much as I did. And it was just a beautiful time to learn of the work ethic and the mentality of a musician and what it took to become what we wanted to become, which were great musicians. And from that group, so many great future professional musicians from our community came, both professional musicians as well as educators. There were just a lot of people in those mid-90s years under George Walters that became professional musicians and made a difference in our community in the future years. Years later, I would become the professor and orchestral director at Miami-Dade College, and I would come across the South Florida Youth Symphony once again, this time under the direction of my former theory professor from the University of Miami, Dr. Dennis Cam. And Marjorie Hahn graciously invited me to guest conduct the South Florida Youth Symphony in their holiday concert. And it was a really special experience for me to do that. I remember we had performed the Russian Christmas music, and it was beautiful, wonderful orchestra, it sounded wonderful. And it began a collaboration and a relationship between Miami-Dade College and South Florida Youth Symphony that would extend for many years and would lead to some of the most memorable musical experiences of my teaching career. Performances in Carnegie Hall, performances in Prague, Czech Republic, winning a gold medal in that Czech Republic concert, and of course, winning an Emmy Award for our televised performance. The South Florida Youth Symphony continues to make a difference in my life as an educator, and I see that it continues making a difference in the lives of young musicians today. That same camaraderie, that same energy, that same special feeling that one gets when you get a bunch of young musicians in a room for one reason, and that's to create beautiful music together. That spirit still exists in the South Florida Youth Symphony, and I am very honored to say that I am part of the South Florida Youth Symphony family.